Hello, dear ones. I wonder how you are doing in this world. I guess depending on where you are listening in from, there might be a lot of nice, peaceful energy around you, hopefully. But then there's a lot of other places where it's very, very, very intense for those who live there. You probably heard a lot about the catastrophes that are happening all around. And one is in the area where my sister lives in Australia. I think she's right outside of it. Anyway, there is so much going on, and this is exactly what they have been talking about. That this is just gonna, amplify because the world as we know it is collapsing. And I know it is kind of sad news, scary news. A lot of us kind of have known inside that this is something that needs to happen. It doesn't really have to do with any of those in charge because there's a much bigger energy behind all of this that I don't really want to go into because I don't know it firsthand in here. I just sense it. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What is behind all this? I think what we need to be behind is our engagement in what's going on. Of course, we read about it, we hear about it, we have a reaction about it. That's all unavoidable. And as long as we're able to be present with our reactions, then we can keep coming back and see what is behind that. So if we talk about something being behind, the collapse of what is going on in the world, why don't we be the energy behind what is coming in, what is going to replace what we see out there? And I can just speak for myself, of course, always. And it's nice that I talk to other people who feel exactly the same way, is that the need to be still, the need to go behind my own facade, my own false identity, the identity that thinks it is separate from the whole. I need to keep going behind that by being still and going in, whatever it is for each one. I can go into my heart and start feeling what it is that is breaking through, that all this is falling apart, because that which is behind that which is falling apart, of course, is the belief that we are separate from the divine. And that structure has to go because it's not true. It was never true, but it seemed true and it still seems true. But we have a lot more energy available and support and help in the field to really start feeling what else is here. And that is only something we can do from the inside, where we start tuning into it and tuning into it here. And then we become more still. So a while ago, I read a poem to you that I wrote a number of years ago. And I just feel moved to read the first couple of paragraphs, just to kind of remind us of what is possible. So the name of this poem is called My Business is Stillness. When the winds of the mind start swirling around, I need to be still, stay put in divine will. The tempting storms that need to be calmed, the raging fires that want my attention, the emergencies calling my name all around, urging me to leave my sole intention. I need to be still, undisturbed in divine will. So that is something that is very alive in me. This is what my life is about. And you can see if yours is about that too, as we are going through the beginning stages of a full collapse. That there are those of us who came here to hold those higher frequencies. Hold them. How do we do that? They are here. We rest in them, we connect with them. We need to have a feel for what it is. It's not something that's happening up here. The thing that's happening up here can help us to choose to go down here and tune in. And when I tune in, there's a part of me that feels relieved, that feels at peace, that feels on purpose. And that's a really good feeling, then I feel like, yeah, this is it. This is it. If I would go out there and fight and judge and blame and, demonstrate, which is, we all have to choose what resonates with us. I can only say that, no, that's not it, because there's nothing in here that resonates with that. I've done a lot of that in the past, but that has all dropped away. And my belief is that it will drop away for all of us because the new is coming in and the old has no place in there. The frequencies are just so different. It's like oil and water. So, the older ones have to go, and it is happening. And it's never easy, when you see, let's say, a building collapsing, right? It's very, very messy. But if it's all, rat infested and moldy and whatnot, it just needs to come down. It cannot be rebuilt. So it has to come down, and it's messy, and there might be grief like, oh, I love that room and I loved living here, whatever it is. That is part of the process that is unavoidable. But we can certainly let ourselves go through that phase and then remember, if this is true for you, my business is stillness. My business is stillness. And if that resonates for you, take a breath into that place that resonates with you. Even if you may not totally feel it, but we can just kind of invoke that right now. And we can say yes to it. Say, yes, I want that. That feels like the right thing for me to be here, to be, the presence, the stillness as I walk through life. I may not know what it does, but I know that it feels right inside. And that is the only thing really that we can hold on to, that there is a sense of rightness about it. It gives us a sense of peace, purpose. For me, it kind of can be a little bit of a click. It's like, oh yeah, there. Do you ever feel that? Like, oh yeah. And then I know that I'm where I need to be. It doesn't mean that I know what's going to happen, what it means, that I need to do something. And that's the challenge for most of us, right? Because in the matrix, there's always the need to know. What does it mean? What do I need to do? Am I doing it right? That's the old, that's what is crumbling. And as it's crumbling, we need to do our best to not go in there and try to know. I know it's challenging. I had to go through that phase myself, and there is still part of me that wants to know, but it's just like it's a I don't know. It's just a gentle wind or something, a soft energy that just like something from the past that I'm not really engaging in anymore. A little bit, I do follow somewhat what's going on in the world, so I'm not totally ignorant to, what other people are going through and, how people are impacted by what's happening out there. So I do want to know, but I don't know what is true and what's going to happen next, or if it's a good or a bad thing, if it's right or wrong, if I can trust this person or that person. So more and more as I've been letting go of that, I can just tend to my business, which is stillness. And the more I tend to that, the mind that wants to know, that thinks it needs to do something or figuring it out, that energy literally is dissolving. Just as we're going to see the world dissolving, right? It's the shell, the cover of the false matrix that's crumbling. So is the cover of the false sense of self, the one that feels separate from it all. And as that is crumbling around each of us and in the world, then we will realize and feel the oneness of it all. I mean, for me, it's just, I'm not like, oh, it's all God, it's all one. But I sense it when I get still in here. I know that. I just gently know that. If there's just, shall we say, an obviousness to it. But when I'm up here, I don't know that. I may hope for it, I may wish for it, I may look for proof for it. But when we literally go into the stillness and let go of the mind needing to figure it all out and what to do, that's all the matrix of the mind. It's the mind matrix. It's the false matrix that we have been identified with for so long. And as we withdraw from that, then this becomes much more available and we can stay with that. Then the mind will still do all its things, maybe for a long time. My mind still does that at times, especially early in the morning. I think I shared that with you, that it's like when I come back, into my body, there's like, boo, craziness. So I always need to take some time to consciously come back in here into the stillness. And we all have to do that in our own ways. So just because we start hanging out more in the stillness, in our heart, in the presence, in the field, doesn't mean that all this is gone. Just like if you look at the world, right? Just because you may be able to see through it more and more, not engage in it, it doesn't mean that it all just disappears. But it will disappear more and more as more of us stop engaging in it, because it is only there because we have been engaging in it with all of our energies. So if this resonates with you, why don't you just start practicing just to be still? Practice to not engage and just see what happens. I want to just read another very short poem that I never finished. When I was looking for the one I just read to you, I ran into this one. It's basically just a paragraph, but I thought it's kind of sweet and relates to what I'm talking about. So it says, my dwelling place is silence, no matter where I go. How that affects the violence I really do not know. And I think that's kind of what I'm sharing here. We just rest in here. Does it affect the violence? We don't know. But we know that it affects us. And when our energy is not engaging in violence, whether it's just observing or, reacting to it, when we learn to not engage in it, we start engaging in the truth that is here, which is peace, which is stillness, which is our business. Well, it's my business. So if you want to make that your business too, you can do that. I think it's nice to do it with others in the beginning and have the support and the confirmation maybe and feel more confident that that's actually okay, because the mind will always tell us, no, you have to do something. You have to go out there and do something. You have to do this and this and this. That's fine. There are a lot of people where that's probably true for them to do that. Let them. Just let them. It's okay. Doesn't mean that you have to. And they may even say to you, you should be doing something. And you just check inside, like, is that true? And maybe it is true. Then go do it. Maybe it's not true. So then be true to what is true to you. And this is where we are heading with all of this. We are all heading to really turn within and become our own sovereign expression, our own divine sovereign outlet that looks nothing like anybody else's. You will have your own unique expression, whether it is silently, verbally, artistically, whatever. You will know when you learn to trust. So please, I have a lot of YouTube videos on that, about the intuition and listening to yourself and how to do it. This is what I do for my work, helping people really come in to their bodies and start listening to what is going on in here, separate from the mind. The mind can be very, very tenacious, especially if we have been living 100% by the mind. And I used to be like that. I fully own that. So it was quite a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a month. It didn't even happen, over the first several years. It took time to get used to that. I do believe things are going faster now because the energies are much more available. Remember, I started this in the 80s, I think. Yeah, in the 80s. So things were different then. The energies were not as available to us as they are now. So we can take advantage of that. But there is that place, take some time to learn that language of your body and of your heart, of your soul, of your divine expression. Separate from this will always come in and tell you something, but that has nothing to do with your direct experience and your felt sense in the body. It's like two different languages. So, learning the purity of your body language, of your divine language, that's a very good place to practice and put a lot of your energy. And be very gentle with yourself. Always be very gentle with yourself. If you're not gentle with yourself, if you're hard on yourself, you're back up here. So, when you see that, it's like, oops, oh, I don't want to be there. I want to be here. So it's kind of it's a journey we all need to go on. And it gets easier over time. It gets better. You'll feel more at peace. You'll feel more at peace with your mind. If it keeps doing it, you just let it. Just let it do its thing. You don't need to engage, right? So here's just see, does it resonate with you that your business is stillness? Or are you somebody who wants to go out and, fight for freedom? Who am I to say what's right or wrong? I just know what's true for me. And so will you.